Chapter 4 of Harps and Feathers. Ponyville Park, 2:05 p.m. A rather angry-looking lime-green unicorn slowly trotted at a begrudging pace back to the center of the park. With the trap Pinky pulled on her, she had unexpectedly sent her flying into a tree. The good news was she landed on top of it and was safely cushioned by many rather pointy sticks. The bad thing was the tree also happened to be a few feet tall. It was also at the moment that Lyra realized she had a deep fear of heights. Were it not for her phobia, she would have quickly returned to the battle and helped defeat the elements. Being completely oblivious to the events that transcribed during the battle, she rather casually walked in. Not expecting anything brutal, she quickly took a fighting stance and looked around for the four ponies. The universe seemed like it was a good day to ruin Lyra's mood. All around the lime-green unicorn, hundreds of pony bodies littered the park. With the occasional murmur of bananas and often groans of pain, it was a truly gruesome sight. Welts colored the coats of almost all the ponies, as the once colorful variety of coats had turned a light purple with bruises caused by unknown foamy weapons. With the realization of defeat dawning on her, she froze in shock. If those mares managed to defeat their mob, crowd, army, then they would also have managed to defeat some pony dear to her. The mare that was always close to her heart. The one who would always be there for her in her time of need. Their defeat meant that Bon-Bon was also defeated, and could be anywhere. With fear quickly gripping her heart, she set out to begin frantically searching for her household companion. With each new pony she saw, their wounds grew worse. Their coat coloring grew darker as she slowly approached the center of the battle. What lay in the middle only served to confirm the unicorn's fears. Clear of pony bodies and lying quietly and motionless was Bon-Bon. From Lyra's point of view, she could easily see an abnormal amount of purplish welts. With tears forming in her eyes, Lyra slowly made her way to her companion. "Bon-Bon, is that you?" She barely managed to hold back a sob at the sight of her. When the cream-colored mare heard her name, she ever so slowly opened her eyes. The look in her eyes still held deep fear of something, a fear of something that no mortal should ever see. "Lyra," was all the sound the poor mare could muster. As soon as she finished her sentence, a series of heavy coughs soon overtook her. Upon seeing the condition her companion was in, Lyra quietly collapsed on her legs and let out a small stream of tears. Who did this?" she managed to choke out, her amber eyes mixing worry with hatred. Bon-Bon quickly saw the anguish in her eyes, and slowly, but painfully, raised a single hoof to comfort the lime-green unicorn. At the gesture, Lyra slowly regained composure and began to calm once again. "It doesn't matter. What is important now is that you must defeat the elements. My time has come. I'm afraid I don't have long," was all the weak mare could sputter before another series of coughs came. "Bon-Bon, hold on just a bit longer. I still have one more question," Lyra managed to say through a sea of tears that now freely flowed down her coat. Without a word, she slowly moved her muzzle closer to the ice-cream-colored mare. The green unicorn paused for a few seconds, as the tension began to build in the air. A few seconds passed, as Lyra was no more than a few centimeters from the cream mare's muzzle. As the tension reached its peak, it was soon shattered by the voice of Lyra. "But, Bon-Bon, you don't understand. You can't go. If you do—" Her voice trailed off before quickly resuming the sentence. "If you do, then who will make me my daily bonbons?" Lyra barely managed to speak the words as another round of sobs quickly muffled any coherent sentence. The mere thought of not having her daily delicious dessert was the sole reason for the waterworks. Somewhere in Ponyville, 2:10 p.m. Suddenly, Sweetie Belle felt as if she was deeply needed somewhere. It was almost like she needed to scream something out, but she couldn't figure out for the life of her what it was. "Sweetie Belle, stop standing there and start beating. Cutie marks don't earn themselves," screamed Scootaloo, while mercilessly pounding a grayish-amber stallion with an oddly proportioned foam sword. Applebloom was somehow managing to pin down the grown stallion with an hourglass cutie mark. "Hurry up, Sweetie Belle. I want to have my turn, too." Applebloom peeked up, still somehow managing to hold the stallion in place. "Sorry, girls. I just had a feeling some pony needed me for a second," Sweetie Belle finished, and quickly picked up her foam sword and once again began to beat the stallion senseless. "Why does it hurt so much?" The poor pony's screams went unnoticed as the adorable fillies continued to brutally beat him down. Ponyville Park, 2:13 p.m. Bon-Bon just sighed and with a monotone voice stated, "There are some left in the fridge at the home. Those should keep you full for a week or so." With Lyra's worries laid to rest, the waterworks immediately stopped, and the lime green unicorn's mood drastically improved. "Well, why didn't you say so? You have no idea how much that means to me, Bonbon. I'm truly lucky to have such a great friend." Lyra finished her compliment with a great big hug. Imagine the look on Bonbon's face as she received the hug. She was so happy. Tears of joy streamed down her muzzle. Oh, wait. Those are tears of pain because she's bruised all over. My bad. Anywho, with the mighty bear hug over, she could finally rest in peace. Barely able to mutter banana, Bonbon fell into the realm of unconsciousness. All of which went unnoticed by our suddenly happy unicorn, who pranced along to feast on the delicious treats left at home. Lyra and Bonbon's residence, 2:20 p.m. After a few minutes of happily prancing and dreaming about chocolate, she had finally reached their bakery/home that they both shared. Sure, it wasn't as great as Sugar Cube Corner, but it still produced top-notch chocolate treats, the most famous ones being Bonbon's delicious bonbons. Realizing she was incredibly close to tasting the delicious confections, Lyra quickly sped up and began to fumble around with the door handle with both hooves. After an astounding 5 seconds, Lyra realized she possessed magic and opened the door violently. What lay inside could only be described as horrifying to the lime green unicorn. Inside their home was a chocolate slaughter. The sweet brown substance lined the walls, and there was an abundance of gray feathers for some reason. What truly caught her attention was the rustling that occurred in the house's kitchen. Peeling her amber eyes away from the delicious crime scene, Lyra noted that the culprit was still in the vicinity. Frantically looking around for anything foamy, her eyes settled on the conveniently placed sword that lay in the middle of the room. Armed with a weapon of destruction, she ever so slowly moved into the area the criminal occupied. "Stop right there, criminal Hold on a second." She paused, squinting hard in the dark kitchen. The only light source present was the faint light emanating from the kitchen's refrigerator. With a small flare from Lyra's horn, the kitchen was illuminated in a dazzling display of green. With the new source of light, she could now make out more detail about the culprit. "Much better. Now where was I? Oh yes. Stop right there, criminal scum! You have violated the laws of Derpy?" True to her word, the thief was none other than the slate-gray Pegasus. What was even more horrifying was the fact that the chocolate stained her muzzle and crumbs littered the Pegasus's mouth. With calmness that no pony could match, the clumsy Pegasus looked up from her feast. She quickly moved her eyes back down to it, and once again back up, before finally arriving at a conclusion. "Hey, this isn't Carrot Top's fridge.